The Invisible College, Then, Now, and Then Again. Executive Summary. The concept of the Invisible College describes informal networks of researchers who collaborate and exchange information, a phenomenon that has profoundly shaped scientific progress across centuries. Originating in the 17th century with natural philosophers like Robert Boyle, these non-public associations fostered experimental investigation and collective scrutiny, laying the groundwork for modern scientific methodology and even catalyzing the formation of formal institutions like the Royal Society. In the contemporary era, the concept has been rigorously theorized by sociologists of science such as Derek Price and Dinah Crane, who illuminated its role in knowledge diffusion and innovation, distinguishing it from more rigid schools of thought. Modern applications extend beyond traditional academia to life sciences, social movements, and initiatives promoting inclusivity. Looking, then again, to the future, emerging technologies are fundamentally reshaping these informal networks. The Internet and digital platforms have transformed invisibility into virtual visibility, enabling global collaboration and blurring the lines between formal and informal communication. Artificial intelligence is introducing the AI co-scientist, a virtual collaborator that challenges traditional notions of authorship and community. Blockchain technology, through decentralized science, DeCi, promises enhanced trust and transparency, while virtual and augmented reality offer immersive collaborative environments. The enduring value of informal collaboration remains paramount, yet the increasing analytical identifiability of these networks presents a paradox, maintaining their organic, spontaneous nature while leveraging technological advancements for greater efficiency and inclusivity. Strategic identification of influential nodes, adoption of hybrid communication models, development of human-AI collaboration skills, exploration of decentralized frameworks, and robust ethical governance are critical for fostering effective invisible colleges in the evolving scientific landscape. 1. Introduction: the enduring concept of the Invisible College. 1.1 Defining the Invisible College. The expression, Invisible College, refers to a non-public network of researchers who operate informally, maintaining close contacts and exchanging information, often through written literature. This designation applies to groups of intercommunicating scientific researchers working within a specified paradigm or field of study that shares common core issues. These networks are characterized by their loose-knit structure, yet they are highly effective in facilitating the flow of knowledge. The fundamental importance of these informal networks lies in their contribution to scientific progress. Research endeavors do not exist in isolation, they are inherently dependent on communication and collaboration. The effectiveness of scientific communication, in both its formal and informal manifestations, is crucial for the pace of advancement. It enables the formulation of new ideas, the comparison of experimental results, and the replication and improvement of existing work, thereby serving as a foundational aspect of the scientific method itself. The Invisible College, in essence, represents the organic, interpersonal dimension of scientific inquiry that complements and often precedes formal publication and institutional structures. 1.2 Purpose and structure of the report. This report aims to provide a comprehensive analysis of the Invisible College, tracing its historical trajectory, examining its contemporary relevance, and exploring its future evolution. The discussion is structured into three distinct temporal phases: then, which delves into its historical genesis and early scientific networks; now, which explores its current understanding and applications in academia and professional spheres; and then again, which projects its future dynamics in the context of emerging technologies. This tripartite framework allows for a detailed examination of the enduring principles that define the Invisible College, alongside the transformative forces that continually reshape its form and function. 2. Then, historical roots and early scientific networks. 2.1 Genesis of the term and the 17th century, Philosophical College. The term, Invisible College, was first coined in the mid-17th century by the influential chemist Robert Boyle, who referred to our Invisible College, or a philosophical college, in letters dating from 1646 and 1647. This appellation described a group of like-minded natural philosophers, including figures such as Christopher Wren, who met informally in various locations in London and Oxford. These gatherings predated the formal establishment of the Royal Society of London. The members of this nascent scientific community engaged in regular, informal meetings and corresponded extensively via letters. This informal exchange was vital for sharing new ideas, garnering recognition for their work, establishing precedents for discoveries, and staying abreast of each other's research. A defining characteristic of this group was their unwavering commitment to new science, espoused by Francis Bacon, grounding their inquiries in observation and experimental investigation rather than solely on logical reasoning or traditional dogma. The group referred to themselves as an invisible college, precisely because they operated outside the more prominent and established academic bodies of the time, such as Wadham College, Oxford University, and Gresham College. Their geographic closeness and regular meetings based on shared scientific interests formed the bedrock of their collective identity. This informal, yet highly collaborative, environment proved remarkably effective. For instance, the Invisible College is credited with placing chemistry on a robust foundation within a mere couple of decades, marking a pivotal intellectual transition in the history of science. The significant advantage they held over the reclusive alchemists was simply, they had one another. This communal approach fostered transparency, shared methods, and collective scrutiny, which were absent in the secretive, isolated practices of alchemy. The intellectual vibrancy and proven efficacy of this informal network eventually led its core members to establish a formal constitution, culminating in the founding of the Royal Society of London on July 15, 1662. The collaborative and transparent nature of the 17th-century Invisible College was a foundational element in the paradigm shift from secretive, individualistic practices, such as alchemy, to the systematic, verifiable, and cumulative methodology that characterizes modern science. The collective scrutiny and shared learning environment enabled rapid progress that isolated, individual efforts could not achieve. This highlights how informal networks can serve as catalysts for formal institutionalization. The intellectual dynamism and shared methodology cultivated by the informal Invisible College created the necessary conditions and provided the intellectual and human capital for the establishment of a formal scientific institution. This pattern suggests that agile, informal groups often precede and lay the groundwork for more structured, recognized bodies in the evolution of knowledge systems. 2.2 The role of informal communication in early scientific advancement. Prior to the 19th century, scientific inquiry was largely funded by private patrons and conducted within exclusive circles, such as the early Royal Society. In this era, informal correspondence, often referred to as the Republic of Letters, served as a primary conduit for the exchange of scientific ideas. This informal communication was critical for disseminating discoveries and fostering intellectual discourse among geographically dispersed scholars. The contrast between the practices of the Invisible College and those of the alchemists exemplifies the transformative power of informal collaboration. Alchemists were notoriously reclusive, maintaining strict secrecy regarding their methods and results, and rarely providing documentation or evidence for their claims. This isolation meant that erroneous beliefs could persist across generations without challenge. In stark opposition, members of the Invisible College actively described their methods, assumptions, and findings to one another. This commitment to accuracy and transparency allowed for collective benefit from both successes and failures, facilitating the identification of errors and contributing to the cumulative growth of knowledge. This underscores that the informal, collaborative, and transparent nature of the Invisible College was not merely a communication preference, but a fundamental element in the development of systematic, verifiable, and cumulative scientific methodology. 3. Now, the Invisible College in contemporary academia and professional spheres. 3.1 Conceptual expansion, Price, Beaver, and Crane's contributions. The concept of the Invisible College garnered significant academic interest from the 1960s onward, largely due to the pioneering research of Derek Price and Donald Beaver. Derek Price, a notable figure in the quantitative analysis of science, or scientometrics, utilized citation networks to map the relationships between scientific papers. His work demonstrated how new knowledge incrementally builds upon existing literature. Price identified the Invisible College as a vital channel for informal communication among leading scientists within a specific research area, noting their sustained contact through mechanisms such as conferences, summer schools, and the distribution of preprints. Dinah Crane significantly expanded this concept within the sociology of science, building directly on Price's foundational work. Her extensive research, which included studies of mathematics and rural sociology authors, aimed to elucidate how scientific communities influence the growth of knowledge. Crane posited that the logistic growth of scientific knowledge is the result of the exploitation of intellectual innovations by a particular type of social community, which she termed an invisible college. A central tenet of Crane's framework is that interpersonal contact and informal collaboration among researchers directly contribute to the cumulative growth and diffusion of knowledge. These networks are characterized by strong ties among collaborators within a specific field and weaker ties that link members to individuals in other research areas, thereby facilitating broader information diffusion. Crane drew a crucial distinction between invisible colleges and schools of thought. She viewed schools as detached, insular units that tend to resist external influences and, consequently, inhibit cumulative scientific growth. In contrast, invisible colleges are inherently open, actively promoting the cross-fertilization of ideas, which she deemed essential for innovation. Furthermore, Crane argued that invisible colleges establish norms for research orientation, social interaction, citation practices, and information utilization, effectively forming the core social structure of science. The work of Price, Beaver, and Crane represents a deliberate sociological and bibliometric effort to map, analyze, and theorize these informal networks. Crane, in particular, formalized the concept, directly linking interpersonal relations among scientists to the logistic growth of scientific knowledge. This signifies a crucial shift, from an unconscious or emergent phenomenon in the 17th century to a consciously studied and theorized social structure in the 20th century. This progression implies that understanding and potentially leveraging these informal networks became a recognized area of scientific inquiry itself, moving beyond mere observation to analytical frameworks for optimizing knowledge diffusion and innovation. The table below summarizes the evolution of the Invisible College concept through the contributions of these key figures. Era, period, key figures, theorists, core contribution, definition, key characteristics. 17th century, Robert Boyle, Informal Philosophical College, focus on experimental investigation, geographic closeness, shared interests, correspondence, 1960s–1970s, Derek J. The Solar Price, Donald Beaver, Pioneering Quantitative Analysis, Scientometrics, Citation Networks, Informal Communication Channels, Citation Analysis, Preprints, Conferences, 1970s, Dinah Crane, Sociological Framework, Informal Networks, Strong, Weak Ties, Knowledge Diffusion, Distinction from Schools, Interpersonal Contact. Cumulative Knowledge Growth, Paradigm Influence, Leadership, Openness to External Ideas, Contemporary, Modern Applications, e.g., Life Sciences, Social Movements, Citizen Science, Application to Key Opinion Leaders, KOLs, Hidden Experts, Diversity Initiatives, Non-Academic Communities, Network Analytics, Influence Mapping, Inclusivity, 3.2 Applications in Modern Scientific and Professional Communities. In contemporary academic frameworks, the meaning and interpretation of the term, invisible college, have diversified significantly. It is now broadly applied to loose-knit, intercommunicating scientific research groups operating within a shared paradigm, often conceptualized as unofficial networks that typically do not exceed 100 members. A notable modern application is found within the life sciences, where the Invisible College refers to groups of healthcare professionals, HCPs, and experts who are not formally affiliated with any single company or institution. These networks are critically important for gaining a deeper understanding of disease communities and for identifying hidden experts, individuals who may not be the most obvious candidates based on traditional metrics like publication volume, but who are the true, trust brokers, wielding significant influence among their peers and patients. Traditional profiling methods often fail to identify these highly influential, yet less visible, experts. To uncover them, advanced network analytics are necessary, as these methods consider individuals as part of a broader community and integrate diverse data sources, including scientific publications, medical claims, and social listening data. Gaining access to these less obvious but equally important thought leaders provides a distinct competitive advantage for organizations seeking novel insights. In the realm of medical research, the Invisible College is recognized as a vital network of successful scientists dedicated to helping each other and mentoring the next generation of investigators. Efforts are underway to make this network more accessible and inclusive, particularly to increase the representation of underrepresented minorities in the biomedical research workforce. Organizations such as the National Research Mentoring Network, NRMN, actively work to provide broader access to this network, fostering diversity and continuity in biomedical research advancement. The original, invisible, aspect of these colleges primarily meant non-public and not affiliated with a formal institution. However, in modern life sciences, a new layer of invisibility has emerged. Influential experts are often hidden from traditional academic metrics. This highlights a growing disconnect between formal recognition, such as publication count, and actual influence within specialized, informal communities. This new form of invisibility necessitates advanced analytical methods to uncover these crucial networks. 3.3 Informal research networks beyond traditional science. The utility of the Invisible College concept extends beyond the traditional hard sciences. For instance, Alessia Zucker's 2004 PhD research applied the concept to the singularity theory community in mathematics. This study viewed the Invisible College as a multidimensional phenomenon, encompassing the specific subject specialty, the scientists and scholars as social actors, and the information use environment. The term has also permeated cultural discourse, appearing in various fictional works. It has been mentioned in novels such as Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol and Umberto Eco's Foucault's Pendulum. Furthermore, it served as the inspiration for Terry Pratchett's Unseen University, and was a primary reference point for Grant Morrison's The Invisibles comic book series, demonstrating its resonance in broader intellectual and creative spheres. In social movements and artistic contexts, the Invisible College can describe groups that operate outside conventional institutional frameworks. An example is the New Contemporary movement in art, which emphasizes self-determinism and draws inspiration from popular culture and social media platforms. This movement has cultivated its own invisible school by creating a distinct community that supports the diversity of its visions and styles, largely outside the standard art education model. A compelling contemporary application is the Invisible University for Ukraine, IUFU. This certificate program serves as a solidarity initiative for Ukrainian undergraduate and graduate students whose studies have been disrupted by war. The program's name deliberately evokes historical, underground, or flying universities, and the tradition of invisible colleges that emerged in Eastern Europe after 1989. IUFU provides thematic courses, mentoring, and skill-building support, showcasing the concept's adaptability in providing vital informal educational structures during times of crisis. Furthermore, citizen science initiatives represent a growing form of informal research network. These programs enable everyday individuals to contribute to ongoing research efforts, such as bird watching, water quality monitoring, or participating in NASA projects. This democratizes data collection and broadens public engagement with scientific inquiry. Similarly, informal science learning encompasses any educational activity occurring outside a traditional classroom, including visits to museums, parks, or participation in school clubs. These settings foster curiosity-driven exploration and can lead to a deeper appreciation for science that may not be cultivated in formal academic environments. While the historical Invisible College was an elite group of natural philosophers, contemporary efforts demonstrate a deliberate transformation of the Invisible College from a potentially exclusive, self-selecting network into a more inclusive mechanism for career advancement and diversity in biomedical research. Additionally, the adaptation of the concept, as seen with the Invisible University for Ukraine, highlights its inherent adaptability and resilience, serving as a vital informal structure when formal systems are disrupted or insufficient, and as a tool for promoting social equity in scientific participation. 4. Then again, the future of informal scientific collaboration in the digital age. 4.1 The Internet and digital platforms, reshaping connectivity. The advent of the Internet has fundamentally reshaped informal scientific networks, giving rise to what can be termed a new invisible college, characterized by virtual ties and truly global collaboration. Unlike their 17th-century predecessors who relied on face-to-face meetings and physical letters, contemporary equivalents are connected instantaneously via the Internet. This digital transformation has significantly blurred the traditional boundaries between formal scientific communication, such as peer-reviewed journals and conference presentations, and informal exchanges, including direct interactions, preprints, and draft papers. The emergence of semi-formal channels, like self-publishing on academic platforms such as academia.edu, further exemplifies this convergence. Digital platforms have become indispensable for the dissemination of scientific research, enhancing visibility and facilitating the socialization of knowledge among researchers. Platforms like ResearchGate, Google Scholar, and Twitter are widely utilized for sharing findings and engaging with diverse audiences. Twitter, in particular, offers unique opportunities for real-time updates and interactions, significantly expanding the reach and impact of research. Moreover, technologies such as instant messaging, email listservs, and web forums create asynchronous meeting spaces and opportunities for opportunistic encounters. These tools significantly extend the contact networks of scientists, providing crucial access to informal communication channels, especially for those who might otherwise be peripheral to established research circles. The open science movement, bolstered by open access journals and preprint servers like Artif and BioArXiv, enables rapid and free sharing of research findings. This fosters greater transparency and accelerates the pace of discovery, cultivating a team science approach that prioritizes collective effort. This digital shift also presents a unique opportunity for developing countries to access and apply the accumulated global store of scientific knowledge, potentially promoting social welfare and economic growth. The original, Invisible College, was literally invisible because it was informal and lacked formal institutional affiliation. However, the Internet and advanced analytics are now making these previously invisible connections and contributions increasingly detectable and even quantifiable. This implies a future where the invisibility of these colleges is increasingly challenged by technological capabilities that make informal connections and contributions analytically identifiable, if not overtly public. This shift has significant implications for how influence is measured, how collaborations are formed, and how scientific communities self-organize, potentially leading to more deliberate and data-driven network building and a redefinition of visibility in scientific influence. 4.2 Artificial Intelligence, AI, the emergence of the AI company scientist. Artificial intelligence is rapidly evolving beyond a mere tool to become a powerful, scientific partner that significantly augments human capabilities in complex problem solving. AI applications are revolutionizing various stages of scientific inquiry, including the rapid analysis of massive datasets, accelerated drug discovery through the prediction of molecular interactions, and the development of sophisticated scientific models. The integration of AI and automation is transforming laboratory research by enabling entire workflows to be automated end-to-end, from liquid handling and incubation to imaging. This dramatically improves overall efficiency, scalability, reliability, and reproducibility, while also reducing the need for manual oversight. By handling routine and tedious tasks, AI frees human scientists to concentrate on higher-level intellectual endeavors, such as analyzing complex data, interpreting results, and designing more sophisticated experiments. This newfound freedom fosters a more dynamic and creative research environment, potentially leading to groundbreaking discoveries. A notable development in this area is Google's AI Co-Scientist system, built on Gemini 2.0. This multi-agent AI system functions as a virtual scientific collaborator, capable of generating novel hypotheses, detailed research overviews, and experimental protocols. Inspired by the scientific method itself, it iteratively refines its outputs through a self-improving cycle. Scientists can interact with these AI systems by providing initial ideas or offering feedback on generated outputs, indicating a collaborative human-AI workflow. However, the integration of AI also presents challenges. The potential for biases within AI models necessitates crucial human oversight to maintain research integrity, transparency, and reliability. Consequently, scientists will require new skill sets to effectively leverage these tools, including proficiency in training AI models, generating and curating high-quality datasets, and critically interpreting complex biological phenomena where AI's training might be insufficient. 4.3 Blockchain Technology and Decentralized Science, DeSi, Enhancing Trust and Transparency. Blockchain technology is emerging as a transformative force in scientific research, particularly through the concept of decentralized science, DeSi. DeSi represents a revolutionary approach that leverages blockchain to promote transparency, facilitate rapid funding, and uphold open-source principles in scientific endeavors. It aims to address the inherent misalignment of incentives often found in traditional academic research, fostering a more equitable and efficient system. At its core, blockchain enhances data security, ensures traceability, and fosters trust among collaborators by providing a distributed, unalterable, and interoperable ledger. Once recorded, data on a blockchain cannot be altered, significantly improving the overall integrity and reproducibility of scientific findings. Key applications of blockchain in science include clinical trials, where it can secure patient data, improve interoperability across various stakeholders, mitigate fraudulent activities, and facilitate remote trial participation. For instance, blockchain can timestamp consent forms, creating an unshakable audit trail that enhances regulatory compliance and clinical decision-making. Furthermore, the use of smart contracts on blockchain platforms can enforce agreements and rules programmatically, strengthening collaboration among diverse participants in complex scientific workflows. 4.4 Virtual Reality, VR, and Augmented Reality, AR, Immersive Collaboration Environments. Virtual reality, VR, and augmented reality, AR, technologies are opening new frontiers for scientific collaboration and visualization. VR creates immersive digital environments that simulate real-world scenarios, allowing users to interact with and manipulate virtual objects. AR, conversely, overlays digital information onto the real world, enhancing the user's perception of their physical environment. These advanced tools hold significant potential to accelerate drug development and personalized treatments. Researchers can visualize and interact with detailed 3D models of biological structures, such as skin anatomy, cellular structures, and molecular interactions. VR can simulate disease models, e.g., psoriasis, eczema, and drug responses in controlled virtual environments, reducing the reliance on traditional wet lab experiments and animal models. Platforms like Nanome facilitate collaborative exploration of molecular interactions, enabling personalized drug design based on patient-specific data. AR can also be employed to monitor treatment effects by overlaying digital data directly onto patients' skin, providing real-time visualization of changes. Beyond research, VR can enhance patient engagement in clinical trials through interactive educational modules that improve understanding of trial procedures. The integration of VR, AR into scientific practice also raises important regulatory and ethical considerations, particularly concerning data privacy, informed consent, and ensuring equitable access to these advanced tools. Academic institutions, recognizing the transformative potential, are actively engaging with these technologies. For example, Georgia Tech has joined the Virtual Reality Augmented Reality Association, VRARA, to drive innovation and foster collaboration in immersive technologies for both research and education. The table below summarizes the influence of emerging technologies on informal scientific networks. Technology, impact on informal networks, opportunities, challenges, considerations, key examples, applications. Internet, digital platforms, virtual ties, global collaboration, rapid information sharing, blurring formal-informal boundaries, enhanced visibility, asynchronous meetings, team science, open access, democratization of knowledge, digital divide, misinformation, gossip, need for better understanding of social media for research, ResearchGate, Google Scholar, Twitter, academia.edu, Artif, Bioartif, artificial intelligence, AI, virtual scientific collaboration, augmented human abilities, rapid data analysis, accelerated drug discovery, automated lab workflows, improved efficiency and scalability, biases in AI models, crucial human oversight, new skill sets required, training AI, data curation, interpretation, AI co-scientist, automated lab workflows, drug discovery, scientific modeling, blockchain, DESI, enhanced trust and transparency, data security, traceability, rapid funding, open source principles, smart contract enforcement, decentralization of scientific authority, technological issues, e.g. transaction speed, lack of widespread adoption, regulatory frameworks, decentralized science, DESI, clinical trials, data integrity, smart contracts, virtual reality, VR, augmented reality, AR, immersive collaboration environments, 3D visualization, accelerated drug development, personalized medicine, remote interaction, enhanced patient engagement, data privacy, informed consent, equitable access, regulatory and ethical considerations, 3D visualization, surgical planning, personalized medicine. Remote interaction, NANOM. The evolution from invisible to virtually visible and analytically identifiable networks is a profound shift. The original Invisible College was literally invisible because of its informal and non-institutional nature. In the modern context, influential experts often remained hidden from traditional academic metrics. However, the current technological landscape, with network analytics, AI, and blockchain, is making these previously invisible connections and contributions increasingly detectable and even quantifiable. This progression suggests a future where the invisibility of these colleges is increasingly challenged by technological capabilities that make informal connections and contributions analytically identifiable. This has significant implications for how influence is measured, how collaborations are formed, and how scientific communities self-organize, potentially leading to more deliberate and data-driven network building and a redefinition of visibility in scientific influence. Furthermore, the historical Invisible College was comprised of an elite group of natural philosophers who later formed the Royal Society. While Dinah Crane's work highlighted the role of central figures within these networks, the current trends point towards a democratization and decentralization of scientific authority. Citizen science initiatives, where everyday people contribute to research, and decentralized science, DESI, which leverages blockchain to transform scientific research by fostering transparency and open source principles, exemplify this trend. The AI co-scientist also suggests a future where AI augments all scientists, potentially leveling the playing field for hypothesis generation and research design, rather than concentrating it among a few central figures. This could fundamentally alter the dynamics of influence and authority within scientific communities, moving towards a more distributed and inclusive model of knowledge creation. Finally, the blurring boundaries between formal and informal, and human and artificial intelligence in collaboration are becoming increasingly evident. The original Invisible College was defined by its informality in contrast to formal institutions. The Internet has already begun to blur the line between formal and informal communication through phenomena like self-publishing and digital platforms. Now, with AI acting as an AI co-scientist that can generate novel hypotheses and research proposals and iteratively refine them, the very nature of who constitutes a collaborator is changing. AI is explicitly presented not just as a tool but as a virtual scientific collaborator. This implies a future where the Invisible College might include not only human researchers but also sophisticated AI systems, further blurring the line between human and artificial intelligence in the collaborative process. This raises profound questions about authorship, intellectual property, the definition of scientific community, and the evolving division of labor in research, pushing the boundaries of what informal collaboration means. 5. Conclusion, enduring principles and future directions. 5.1 Synthesis of key observations. The journey of the Invisible College, from its 17th century origins to its contemporary manifestations and future trajectory, reveals a consistent underlying principle: the enduring value of informal, intercommunicating networks for fostering knowledge growth and innovation. The fundamental human element of having one another, for shared scrutiny, the exchange of ideas, and collective problem solving has remained paramount throughout history, underpinning the very progress of science. Initially a nascent, informal gathering of natural philosophers, the Invisible College evolved into a recognized sociological phenomenon through the rigorous work of scholars like Price and Crane. Today, it is being profoundly reshaped by the pervasive influence of digital technologies. Despite these significant technological advancements, the core principle of informal collaboration driving innovation and the diffusion of knowledge persists as a vital force in scientific endeavors. 5.2 Persistent value of informal collaboration. Informal networks continue to serve as a critical complement to formal structures within scientific and professional communities. They facilitate rapid information sharing, accelerate problem solving, and foster an environment conducive to creativity and novel thinking. These networks are indispensable for the cross-fertilization of ideas and the cumulative growth of knowledge, often leading to innovations that might otherwise be overlooked or delayed within more rigid, formal systems. The continuous flow of social and cognitive influences across diverse research areas, enabled by these informal connections, is essential for sustained innovation within scientific communities. A central challenge in this era of hyperconnectivity and data analytics is the paradox of invisibility. While the Invisible College was initially defined by its informal, non-institutional nature, and later by the hidden influence of key experts, technology is increasingly making these connections detectable and quantifiable. The paradox lies in how to leverage technology to enhance informal collaboration and transparency without inadvertently stifling the very spontaneity, serendipity, and freedom from formal constraints that originally defined these networks and contributed to their innovative power. This requires a delicate balance for future policy and practice: how to harness the power of data-driven insights without over-formalizing or over-quantifying the organic qualities that are crucial for truly novel discoveries. 5.3 Recommendations for fostering effective, invisible colleges in evolving scientific landscapes. To navigate the evolving landscape of scientific collaboration and continue to harness the power of informal networks, several strategic recommendations are critical. Strategic identification. organizations and research institutions should leverage advanced network analytics to identify hidden experts and influential nodes within informal networks. This approach moves beyond traditional metrics like publication volume to understand true influence and the dynamics of trust brokering within communities. Hybrid communication models, investment in and promotion of digital platforms and tools that facilitate both formal and informal communication are essential. Recognizing the blurring boundaries between these modes, support for open access initiatives, preprint servers, and collaborative online environments should be prioritized to enhance knowledge dissemination and exchange. Skill development for human-AI collaboration, educational and professional development programs must be established to equip scientists with the necessary skills to effectively collaborate with and leverage AI tools. This includes training in data curation, AI model training, and the critical interpretation of AI-generated insights, ensuring that human expertise remains central to scientific integrity. Exploration of decentralized models, active exploration and piloting of decentralized models, such as decentralized science, DeSci, are encouraged. These models can enhance transparency, data integrity, and equitable access to funding and collaborative opportunities, addressing systemic issues inherent in traditional scientific publishing and funding mechanisms. Ethical governance of emerging technologies, proactive measures must be taken to address the ethical, privacy, and equity considerations arising from the increasing integration of new technologies like AI, blockchain, and VR/AR into scientific collaboration. Robust governance frameworks are necessary to ensure responsible innovation and equitable access to these powerful tools. Promoting inclusivity and diversity, continued and expanded initiatives that actively promote inclusivity and diversity within these informal networks are vital. By ensuring that the benefits of informal collaboration are accessible to a broader range of researchers, as exemplified by programs like the National Research Mentoring Network, NRMN, and the Invisible University for Ukraine, IUFU, the scientific community can foster a more representative and resilient ecosystem for knowledge creation. References